Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
The legacy of the Murdahs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself know. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh hatched a deadly secret, plotting against his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But what brought us to this point starts with Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident by Paul Murdaugh, Alec Murdaugh's son, and it was going to trial, and Alec was about to pony up financial records. Those financial records were going to uncover a financial scheme hatched by none other than Alec Murdaugh himself. Right before going to court over the boating accident, Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and son, Paul, were brutally executed at the dog kennels at their home in Low Country, South Carolina, the property known as Moselle. Shortly after the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, he had a foiled suicide plot at a local church nearby. Alec had a friend try to shoot him in the head region, which again failed, and he went to the hospital where it was a superficial wound, leaving everybody to believe this was a foiled suicide attempt to garner sympathy from the community. This foiled attempt was captured on camera at the local church. Alec Murdaugh received 2 life sentences for the death and murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. After Alec's double homicide conviction of his wife Maggie and his son Paul, he has since set his eyes on the clerk of Colton County, Becky Hill. Becky Hill is now come under fire for putting her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get Alec Murdaugh convicted. Alec Murdaugh's defense team state that Becky Hill put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get money for a book deal. Alec Murdaugh has a hearing for a motion for new trial coming up on January 29th. This hearing details how Alec Murdaugh believes Becky Hill, the clerk of Colton County, put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get a guilty verdict from the jury. The judge in the matter stated that she will be willing to hear from the jurors and Becky Hill only at the most recent status conference hearing. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel as we prepare to go to this hearing to find.
Good morning, I'm Bullhorn Betty. This is Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, and our daily discussion is related to Savanah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn baby Fabian. Savanah Soto is an 18-year-old pregnant mom-to-be and was getting ready to welcome her son, baby Fabian, into the world right before she disappeared. Her family went to meet her at the hospital to be induced, and she never showed up. This worried her family so much so that they went to the San Antonio police to file a police report on December 23rd. However, the San Antonio Police Department said they needed to file the missing persons report in Leon Valley. So that's what the family did. In the meantime, they were calling frantically to Matthew's phone, which is her boyfriend, as well as his family, because they thought there was something going on between Savanah and Matthew at the moment. And then they learned that that wasn't the case. Matthew's family couldn't get a hold of him, and so both families were very, very concerned, and Matthew's family ultimately filed a missing person report on him as well. Then we fast forward to December 26th. This is the day that Matthew and Savanah were found deceased in their car. Many people were speculating on who could possibly or potentially be responsible for this crime because Matthew and Savanah were both well known in the area. They were both well-known drug dealers in the area, and this played a role in this case. Well, since then, video came out that surfaced showing a heavy-set Hispanic male stepping out of a Chevy Silverado and helping what appeared to be a younger female in the victim's car. However, we learned after the arrest that Christopher was the female, the younger female that we saw in the video, because he was a 19-year-old boy with long hair and from the angle looked like a female. However, law enforcement did locate them and they charged Christopher Preciado, which is 19, with the actual capital murder of both Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto. They charged his father, Ramon Preciado, with tampering with evidence and concealing bodies and other charges related to the moving of the body. And then his stepmother, Mirta Romanos, was the third arrest in this case, and she is presumed to be the one that tossed the towel to Ramon in that video. For today's topic, we're going to be going over where Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra were actually murdered at. Stay tuned for this thought-provoking conversation. God bless each and every one of you. And welcome to Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, my beautiful people of YouTube and X. It's nice to see you, TGIF. For all of you out there, you have survived the week. Give yourself a hand. TGIF. It's nice to see you, Jules, followed by Skittles. It's nice to see you as well, TL. Good morning, JB's mama up in the house. You guys were chatting up this morning. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. Let's see. Let me get down here. Tammy, good morning, love bug. I hope you're doing well this morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody is finding the new channel well. Gigi for life, MJ, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Jen, it's me, Jen. Good morning, love bug. Nice to see you. Michelle Lynn is up in the house. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. Nice to see you all here this beautiful morning. The real me too. Good morning, love bug. I hope you're doing well. I keep seeing me and I didn't even hardly chat this morning. Manic Mama T, it's nice to see you. Angie, good morning. Southern Grammy Wolf, good morning. Sweet Misery, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we got? I have like over 200 messages right now, so I'm trying to pop and find out which one of you I haven't said good morning to. Allie, you're stuck in there somewhere. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Bookworm, I see you. Nice to see you this morning. Who else we got? Luteens, I see you. Good morning. Mike Stevens, Patricia Miller, good morning. If I'm missing you, don't mind me. There's a lot of people that have been chatting. Cool Gamer, I see you up in here. Nani, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Turtle Madness. Dun, dun, dun. Nice to see you, Turtle Madness. I heard Dolly Vision. I tried to stay up. Good Lord. I don't know if you guys remember yesterday. I was so tired. I had been up since 2 a.m. I was so stinking tired yesterday. And so I had stayed up. I laid down just to get I was wanting to get like a power nap for like an hour. And I maybe got 20 minutes. And so last night I was online. I wanted to hear the interview. I still haven't heard it. I'm going to have to listen to it after this live is over with. And I'm like, I was almost there. I think I got notified that he had the 8:30 at like 7 or 7:30. And so I'm like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I'm glad I sent him, because I sent him a couple questions that I had. I don't know if he asked them because I haven't looked at the video. But right there at the last 15 minutes, I'm like, I was done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. I was crashing out. I knew I wasn't going to make it. I didn't even get to his intro. I was done. Casey, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Who else? Pat, you're in the house. A paralegal Liz. Good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Connie Branch. Good morning. Good morning, love. Who else do we have? I'm going to scroll on down. Oh, Turtle Madness. Look at that. Good morning. Good morning. Well, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Alabama Mom of 4, the op text. Mel B, good morning. Amanda, it's nice to have you here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Shannon, it's nice to see you. Mel C, I think I've already said hi to you, but hi again. I think that might be it. La Mala, nice to see you. Good morning. Welcome to Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. Our beautiful PJ sneaking up in here. She's watching from the bushes. Oh, wow. Penny Riddle, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Who else do we have? H-Town's Finest, nice to see you as well. I think we got everybody. If I missed you, Unicorn, I see you. Good morning. Jamie, it's nice to see you. Rebecca, good morning. And anybody else that has come in since Ashley's World, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. sure. Superman's grandma. I love seeing that's so cute. That is absolutely cute, adorable. I love it. I love it. All right, I think we're down at the bottom of the list. So I hope everybody's doing well this Friday morning. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, about going over the maps and stuff like that, and really trying to hone in on what information has been provided to the public from law enforcement by way of, their conversations through the press conferences, which were vague. Um, the arrest affidavit, which was vague. Then we have a little more meat to the bone in Myrta's, not much, but a little bit. And then, of course, we have the incident report, which garnered, in quite honestly, for me, I think that incident report really garnered almost more information than any of the other stuff, because it talked about their positioning in the car. And with their positioning in the car, it really does kind of describe what may have happened, because the positioning of Matthew, it's the positioning of Matthew's body in that car that really gives me pause, and actually kind of corroborates some of the channel's chat. There was some people that had made some statements, and I'm like, well, we were going back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. But I really do believe this incident report really did identify a lot of information for us. So we're going to go back to that, and we're going to go back to the maps rather. But before we do, I wanted to go over some really rotten, grody stuff that's going on in the country today. We haven't had an opportunity. We've been kind of focused. We're getting geared up to go to. Good morning, Bayou Babe. It's nice to see you. We're getting geared up to go to the Alec Murdaugh motion for new trial hearing at the end of the month. So we've been focusing on that, Bryan Kohberger, and of course the Savanah Soto case. But one of the things that we've always done here on this channel is, always bring in some extra stuff that doesn't take the whole show, but also informs our audience about other things that may be going on in and around the country. And we kind of got away from that because the news was moving so fast, especially on Savanah Soto. We had some breaking news on Alec Murdaugh. There's been some movement on Bryan Kohberger's case. And then, of course, just to let you know, remember I told you guys all that we were not going to get our 7-day Paramount Plus membership trial until around February. Remember me telling you all that? Say, don't get Paramount Plus just yet. Well, I have to say that Chronicles of Olivia did an amazing job at, narrating some of the Cyber Sleuth docuseries. There were several people that participated in this docuseries, and Olivia was kind of the main character, which I am so happy. You guys know she's like one of my BFFs. She is so sweet, so talented, and really took the bull by the horns on this project. And so I'm really, really proud of her. We had an amazing, I think she's the producer or the director, Lucy. Lucy was amazing. And the whole team, they were all just really amazing. And it's kind of neat because none of them really knew what, cyber sleuths, web sleuths, or anything else. The people that put this whole production together really had no clue. They knew what they've heard the term. They knew about this true crime genre. But they didn't. I don't know what's going on with the OP text, but let's not use those. That's a baby face. I don't know. So, you know what? Somebody go ahead and time that person out. The OP text. I don't know who you are, but we don't put emojis like that in our chat. So if we only have a few rules here for all those, I know we have a lot of new faces in here. They were buying that for all the people that I don't know if we need to time them out, but just delete the comment. This is a new person, so let me just go ahead and give the rules. So here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, or any of our channels, whether it's Crime Stories or our main channel, we have a few words are a few things that we can do here on this channel that I do allow. Okay. One is that we must be respectful to everybody in chat. Okay. So we know that some of the topics we discuss are sensitive and kind of provoke emotions. So we do understand that there are times when, tempers get a little raised. We try to manage that, knowing that in advance. But you mean what you say what you mean. You don't have to say it mean. And we really only have one rule of the chat, and it's don't be a Richard. If you don't know what that means, it means don't be a dick. Okay, don't be a dick. And I gotta say, on the other Bullhorn Betty news front, we have a new button. We have a new button that has been donated to the Bullhorn Betty channel specifically for our trolls. Specifically for our trolls, okay?
Hey, could you do me a favor and shut up? Shut up!
Call your doctor should you experience angina, smelly farts, eye bleeding, earwax, large boogers.
Shut up!
Yo, bro, shut up.
Shut the front door up! Just go away! Shut up! Shut up!
This late-breaking news just in. Shut up.
Will you shut up already?
Hello?
Hello, this is Wendy from Customer Services.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up, shut up. Shut up! Hey, could you do me a favor and shut up?
I don't know if the person wants me to name them publicly, but the person knows who they were that sent me that, and so do I. And so do I, of course. So if they would like to tattletale on themselves, I'm happy to have that have that happen. I'm not gonna be the whistleblower, okay? I'm not gonna be the whistleblower of the donor of the button, but this is gonna be this is like right next to my buttons. I got external buttons here, guys. I got external buttons here. You better watch out, okay? You better watch out, including my soundboard, okay? Including my soundboard, okay? There's people out there that says, just stop pushing buttons. But I love pushing buttons. It's my job. It's my job.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Just one more. Now that we're done pushing all the buttons, see, now I'm good. We won't have to worry about it the rest of the show. I got it all out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get moving on to what we've got going on here. So this is something very interesting, and this was out of Colorado. No, this is the North Carolina one. Anyways, this guy just went berserk, and I know we've been having a lot of conversations about the mental health and guns and da. We're not getting into that conversation today at all. All we're doing is reading a story. Okay. So witnesses heard shouts of final solution and cleansing of the country before ex-soldier allegedly killed 2 women and a dog. That is correct. I almost want to pivot. And say, one of the things that I work on here in my county with another one of my one of the advocates here in the county is meaningful solutions for our homeless vet population. I'm not going to get on a diatribe of what our veterans really truly need, but we can imagine that our veterans have to be pretty screwed up in some of them, right? From some of the stuff that they've witnessed, some of the stuff that they've seen. There's no excuse. We don't have people going out here and doing this. This is something that I believe people may have known about it for a while before it got to this level. I don't know. But this was pretty serious. This is pretty serious. So police were already en route to Apex, North Carolina neighborhood for a call of a disturbance when they received several more 911 calls of shots fired around 3 p.m. on January 5th. When Apex police officers arrived at the scene, the officers saw 2 women and a dog suffering from gunshot wounds and a man retreating into his home. According to Chief Jason Armstrong, who recounted the first moments of the investigation on Facebook. There's the monster right there. And I'm going to call him a monster, whether he's mentally deluded or what have you. there has to be people that take responsibility for their actions. He had to have known at some point something was not right. I don't understand the whole mental health thing. I guess I'm not the person to discuss these things with, because we're going to have to do some really deep diving and research. Psychology wise, yes, but I still believe people, even sick people. I had a very, very sick young kid that lived here in this particular house with me at one point, and he was heavily schizophrenic. Some moments he was lucid and normal, and then another moment he could be running down the road, taking off, stripping down butt ass naked as he's running down the road. I mean, it was it's disturbing to witness. It's disturbing to see somebody you care about going through it and knowing that there's literally nothing you can do. And this was while he was being medicated as well. But see, what happens is the medication makes them lose their energy. And so a lot of these patients don't like the way it makes them feel and talks themselves out of taking the medication or hiding the fact that they're not taking their medication. So I don't know if that has anything to do with this or not. This is all speculative. But police believe the man they identified as Harry Hardman had been roaming the neighborhood, making loud noises, which prompted Nancy Taylor, 69, of the head of the South Walk Homeowners Association, to approach him. Police do not know the specifics of their conversation, but Armstrong said during their exchange, Taylor was joined by her friend Gabriel Raymond, 37, who also lived in Southwalk Townhomes neighborhood. That's when Hadman, who also lived in the neighborhood, who was further connected to the women remains unknown, allegedly drew a gun and shot both of the women in a yard at the 1400 block of Chipping Drive, according to Armstrong. He might have had a PTSD type of situation. But again, it comes down to, knowing our servicemen's medical needs, right? He should be getting free TRICARE or some type of military type of insurance to be able to go to the doctor. This may very well be, I worry about these military people because they do wake up thinking that they are in a war zone. And so this may have been something that he may have been going on. I don't know. In a video recorded by a neighbor around the time of the shooting and sent to the local news outlets, WRAL News, a man can repeatedly be heard screaming about a final solution and a cleansing of the country. He also promoted violence against graduates of Harvard and MIT. The outlet noted that it was unclear if Hardman was the person shouting. Police arrived at the scene and, hearing more gunshots, tracked the sound to the 1600 block of Bristol Drive, where they saw Hardman going inside his home per police. Officer had started to set up a perimeter around his residence when they saw the former Army captain. He was an Army captain, leaving through the back door with an AR-15. Hardman allegedly dropped the weapon at the officer's direction and was arrested on scene. So he ended up giving up, but not before killing two women, one an elderly woman, one a lady younger than me, and a dog. Like, I just don't understand it. This is going to be, I'm not going to go over this case too much, but I did want you guys to see this. We talk a lot here on this channel about domestic violence. We talk about family annihilators. We have not Todd Colehep. Which one was the Tot? Something Tot in Orlando, family annihilator. We refer to Alec Murdaugh as well as a family annihilator. And I don't know if this was what this was all over, but there are two beautiful girls that went to visit their father, and it was very sad. And this is the Colorado case that I was just referring to. And this is the sisters 3 and 7. And just really sad. So I just wanted to take a moment for these two beautiful faces. I really can't go into the details of their case on this channel. And which brings me to the next point. I am in the process of setting up Patreon. So we're going to be having a Patreon account in the next 30 days. I've got to finish up setting that up and seeing how I want to do it and learning about Patreon. But this is, from my understanding, is going to be a way for us to be able to talk about some more sensitive topics on that particular platform. We can't obviously be graphic or anything like that, but we can discuss more sensitive topic that would trigger, a notification here on YouTube. So once I get that all rolled out, we'll figure out a schedule for Patreon. I think I'm going to start it out really light at the beginning, maybe 1 or 2 videos or whatever a week, just to get my feet wet. And then from there, we'll figure out how we're going to do Patreon. If I have any mods in here that are familiar with that, can you guys reach out to me? 1 of you, 2 of you, 3 of you, all of you. And either anybody out there, Bullhorn Betty's not a techie person. I do the best I can, but I'm not a techie person. So on Patreon, I'd be able to go into this case in a little more detail, but with the rules of YouTube, I can only discuss certain children cases, fleeting in nature, as long as it's not graphic. And again, we don't really need to know about this case so much. We know that the mother and father were separated. The children went over to visit their father, and their father and the children are all gone. And again, it is pretty clear and convincing what happened. So that's really all I've got for those beautiful girls. Those beautiful girls, just to let you know, if they have them here, yes, Jessie was 7 years old. And the 3 years old, take a deep breath, guys. Her name was Summer. Her name was Summer. Before we get on to any further things with Savanah Soto, we are going to talk about yet another teacher that has hurt not just one young boy in her, well, I shouldn't say, they're still young. They're under the age of 18. Young boy in her class. She abused multiple ones. But see, this is the problem and the reason. We're going to go through this in a little more detail, because this one really outlines the preying of the children and what lengths she was willing to go to get with these kids. That's the problem I have, guys. This is what's making this case so despicable. I want to read this, and we are going to read this because I think every parent, if you are a parent and you have a child in grade school, any type of grade from middle school up, obviously young kids, you need to be extra careful with, any child in our public school system. We know that there are amazing teachers out there. I know that there are amazing teachers out there because I'm friends with some really, really amazing teachers, that love their job and love their students. They're nurturing, they're kind, they're gracious. They do the job because they love the children and they love teaching and crafting our children to be beautiful, upstanding people of society when they grow up. It's a pleasure to the friends that I have that teach children. It is their passion for children and education. Absolute passion. Amazing. They want to protect the kids. They are like a second parent. You know what I'm saying? They love their children in their class so much. They would never want to hurt them. They would never want to injure them. They would never want to have them see or be a part of, horrible behavior or bad behavior. They want to protect them. They want to keep them away from predators, which this lady is absolutely 100% a predator. And she should be facing life in prison. And here is why. I'm going to read this. And you guys are going to be sick to your stomach. If this is a topic that might trigger an unhealthy response in you, you may want to come back here in about 5 more minutes. But this one's going to bother a lot of people. Her name's Ellen Phillips, and she admitted to engaging in essay activity with several. Let me see if I can blow this up. With several teenage boys but it's not that. It's that last 4 words at the end of that sentence that causes me to want to vomit in my mouth. What kind of teacher acts this way? I mean, we don't want them touching our children anyways, but to be engaging in this kind of conduct is just appalling. She told the judge she would use social media to contact her victims. The 38-year-old confessed to repeatedly attempting to lure one of the children with promise of S and alcohol. She literally did this kid felt uncomfortable, guys. When you start reading this, you'll realize this kid tried to push her away on multiple occasions, and she just came back. The former teacher's aide of Danville, Kentucky, pled guilty last week in federal court to attempted online enticement of a minor to engage in SA conduct, according to authorities. Ellen Phillips, who previously went by Ellen Shell, admitted to authorities in December 2022 she messaged a 15-year-old boy on Facebook to engage in SA, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. Phillips said, this is what she has admitted to, that she repeatedly attempted to convince, do you understand that? Convince this child to sneak out of his home for the purposes of SA, despite the child's reluctance. Philip continued to try and convince him, at one point trying to lure him out with the promise of alcohol and oral, while also sharing tips on excuses he could give his mother to leave the house. It wasn't clear if she had SA with this particular boy. However, she said in her plea agreement that she would have had SA with multiple minors, or that she would have had SA with multiple minors at the same, a free-for-all in the teacher's den. I'm disgusted. Information on the total number of victims, potential further charges, or the nature of her arrest, such as how authorities were tipped off about her crimes, was not detailed in the statement. A spokesperson for the office did not immediately respond to people's requests for further clarification. The U.S. Attorney's Office carried out this operation as part of Project Safe Childhood, a Justice Department initiative that addresses child SA, including cases where a minor child is targeted online, which she did. Phillips used social media platforms such as Facebook and Snapchat to communicate with her victims, multiple, plural. In a statement to People, Snapchat, such conduct is reprehensible and has no place on the platform. Snapchat was also designed to help young people talk to their friends that they know in real life, and we have robust measures in place to make it difficult for teens to be discovered or contacted by strangers. But she was a teacher. It wouldn't have been a stranger. If we are made aware of any contact exploiting minors, whether through our productive detective technology or confidential in-app reporting tools, we immediately remove it, lock the violating account, and report it to authorities. In 2002, the platform launched Snapchat Family Center, which allows parents to monitor who their teens are talking to, which I think is very important. I think parents should be in the know with their teens. Listen, I know parents go out of their way to pay extra attention to their young children, but for whatever reason, when their children get to a certain age, they kind of, give them, and of course they're supposed to. That's how life works. As you grow up, you get more responsibilities, you get more benefits, you get more, your parents allow you to do more things as you get older. But the problem is as our children are getting older and into their teenage years, they're prey for other people because, one, you're not around. Two, they now know how to keep their mouth shut and hide things from parents. Get that person out of here. They have no right to tell me what I think I might have banned somebody else. Yeah. First of all, booty shots. grow up. Okay? Here.
Shut up!
Yeah, that's what I need to say. I'm not even going to go into it. I will give parenting advice because my kids, my grandkids and my stepchildren turned out a hell of a lot better than anybody else. So, I'm sorry. I think I still got it. All right? Because I guarantee you, booty shots, if you were here, I would bend you over my knee and spank your butt and put you in the corner for timeout. Your behavior is atrocious. So don't worry about what I'm doing. If we had more people like me, maybe this kind of crap here wouldn't be happening. Okay? Maybe that's what you need to get a clue about. You don't like me, you don't have to like me. I don't care. I'm mean. But I tell it like it is. And I'm sorry, but parents this day and age aren't doing what's right by their children. They're trying to be their best friend. Sorry, but parents need to be parents. And if you don't like that coming from me, too bad. You're blocked. You can't comment anyway. So have a great day and God bless you. Enjoy your weekend with that rotten attitude. Enjoy the weekend with that rotten attitude. It must be a teacher, right? It has to be a nasty ass teacher that probably does this shit themselves. I'm just saying. Probably that's who that came from. I don't know. Who knows? I mean. So in April, she was facing anywhere from 10 years to life in prison. So it looks like she still may be able to face it. She has, because it even says Kentucky teacher who confessed, let me pull this back, who confessed to SAing multiple minors at the same time could get life in prison. So it doesn't sound like she has actually been sentenced. All right, so that's kind of it. I wanted you guys to see that for yourself. There's a couple other articles that I've got going on here. Let me see what this one is. Oh, I can't miss this one. This one takes the cake. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. This is just, it's not funny, but it's hard for me to read the title without literally coming up with about 1,000 different things that are comical about this, as disgusting as it is. I am not lying. How big is this man's pockets? I'm just curious. How big is this man's pockets? Like, did his hand not go in there? And why would he take the hand with him? I'm, again, not going to go into this. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but apparently he likes walking around with parts in his pockets. If you guys would like to hear about that, his name is Solomon Martinez, and he was arrested in Pueblo Police Department in Colorado. You can, I'll drop this down in the link if you'd like to read this kind of crazy story. It's a little cray-cray if you ask me. If I'm going to off somebody, which I'm not going to do, just to let you know, but if I'm going to off somebody, I'm going to leave as much evidence behind, like, I don't want it on my persons, right? So I'm getting rid of the weapon and I'm getting rid of the severed body parts. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be carrying it around in my pocket. How big is this man's pockets? Like I said, I could go on for days with this. It's not a funny story, but Lord have mercy. Who the hell's walking around the streets of any place with a severed hand in their pocket? I don't know. They must be calling that Creepy Creations to see. I need to stop. Creepy Creations to see if they need a hand. Do you guys remember that Creepy Creations? Did you guys remember? Hold on, let me go to YouTube. For those that have never seen this, this is kind of creepy. This lady got pulled up in a federal lawsuit because of this. But this is the creepiest thing I think I have ever in my life seen. And they had vertebrae. I mean, it was cats. Creepy. Oh, here it is. You guys got to watch this. We're gonna take a detour just real quick. Hold on. You guys got to watch this. It's creepy. Freaking creepy. Got a twin? God bless you. I don't need the intro. Hold on, let me get past the intro. Oh, here. Is it? There we go.
A new FBI search is now linked to a store that sells what it calls creepy dolls.
The FBI will still not say exactly what it is searching for. That yesterday there were 2 searches all day long, one at that business in Peabody and one at the business owner's home here on this street in Salem.
So here's this article right here, FBI search Peabody. I know it's not Peabody, it's Peabody. Peabody. It's how they pronounce it, I believe. The creepy doll business. An owner's home in Salem. It says the FBI said there's no threat to public safety following the search of a creepy dolls shop in Peabody and the owner's home in Salem. When business owner in the 50 Mills complex of Peabody saw 8 or more men in uniforms in their hallway on Tuesday, they assumed there were maintenance being done to the building. It was only when they saw the labels on the jacket they realized that the FBI was inside the building. I can confirm the FBI was at both locations yesterday conducting law enforcement activity in connection with an ongoing federal investigation. An FBI spokesperson told WBZ Wednesday to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation, we're going to refrain from commenting on its substance. However, there's no threat to public safety. They were taking things out of the shop and putting them into boxes, a neighbor in the complex said. And there's the door to the creepy doll shop. According to witnesses, the FBI searching Cat's Creepy Creations. Cat's Creepy Creations described a lab setup. A pickup truck was here. This ended with the back loaded. Let me just fast forward to the end. The bottom line is we didn't realize this was going to be a major federal investigation. And this tracked all the way back. To the supervisor of the bodies at Harvard. Like the guy, like the crypt keeper at Harvard that does the scientific stuff. You know, they have different type of classes and they need cadavers. And, you know, unfortunately, you can't really, you know, some of these people are, you know, they give their bodies once they're gone to scientific research. And so people that do that go to like schools like Harvard and other places. And I can't remember, I think it was Harvard Medical School that the guy, this guy that had worked there for 20 or 30 years ended up getting arrested because he had been selling real live body parts on the black market. And these stores and store chains were actually selling them to people as art, real humans. It was a little bizarre, but anyways, it brings back to that hand in that you know, I don't know where that came from. I wasn't planning on showing you guys that. However, let's get on to Savanah Soto. So if you guys are all here for the Savanah Soto case, we're going to get into it now in discussing where they could have been killed. There's been a lot of speculation whether it could have happened at the home, whether there's a vacant lot down the road. And if it's possible, you know, even with Matthew Guerra, we've been trying to decide whether or not he was in the car or outside of the car. Many people on this channel believed he was outside of the car because there was only one spent shell case inside the car, implying that only one person was actually shot in the car. Because Savanah was so heavily pregnant and we don't see her just being up and moving around, she's most likely sitting in that car. So we assumed that the shell casing and her, because she didn't seem to move from that seat for all intents and purposes, we feel that she was the one that was, you know, hurt inside that car. But when we got, you know, when we've been talking about it for so long that we don't, it's almost confusing. It's like, even if you had your mind set that it happened here with all this extra information, it's kind of hard not to now be on the fence. Could it have happened down the street? You know, is it that close? You know, could they have picked him up and got out of the car and talked and, you know, all this stuff and that, you know, we don't know. What does seem to kind of stick out in my mind is the affidavit when Ramon and Christopher were arrested. Let me find that. Not his graduation. I want his arrest affidavit. All right, here it is. So in his arrest affidavit, if I'm not mistaken, let me just download it. Download now. I know I've already got it, but I don't have it up. So let me just get this up so we can all see it. It's stated that the car, that based on the car data, so they at least we know that they have the car data. They have to have the, I would assume they have to have the car data. Let me just leave it at that. Let me pull this up. We're going to read this right now. So we all have the understanding of it. I don't want to go off memory, to be honest with you. Let's just go ahead and put it up on the big screen. All right. So it's when we get down to, was it on the third page? Yes, it's on the third page. When we get down here, this is kind of where I'm living, is in this area right here. When we're having the discussions about the car and the movements, because I think this is pretty telling. It says your affiant was able to discover that the victim's vehicle pinged. So they already have some pinging information, at least preliminary information from the car's data. That's what that statement is telling me right there, is that they've got some car data already back. So they probably know exactly where that car was when Savanah and Matthew were executed. But it says that your affiant was able to discover that the victim's vehicle pinged near Charlie Chan Drive and Cary Grant Drive at 2350. Now, if we come over here, let me back this up just a little bit. Get over where I need to go. There we go. There we are. This right here is where Christopher Preciado's home is, okay? And this is, I don't know which roads are which. Let me see if I can put it back in 2D. Maybe I need to back it up a little bit further. I saw the names of the roads on here before, but one of them is Cary Grant. Let me see if I can go down. Let me just put my person down there. Maybe I'll be able to see the actual signs on the stop sign. So, okay. So it looks like Cary Grant runs this way. I don't know if you can see my cursor. So Cary Grant runs in front of their driveway. So if Cary Grant's in front of their driveway, that means that, Cary Grant is the long road. We can see it right there. So this is Cary Grant right there. See Cary Grant Drive right there? So that's Cary Grant Drive, and this is Charlie Chan. So this is the area, according to the probable cause affidavit, they were somewhere here. The probable cause affidavit specifically states that their vehicle pinged near Charlie Chan and Cary Grant. So they were pinged near that area. So somewhere there. So where's that vacant lot? Is it somewhere like in a lot or two next to this intersection? Because that's where it last pinged. The night that they went missing, the vehicle did not start moving again. So that means the vehicle arrived at 2350 and was in a stationary position. It did not move. Not one single spot. They didn't pick up somebody and then drive down the road. According to the affidavit, which is signed under oath, the affiant is saying that the car pinged near this intersection, which we see where the intersection is, around 2350 that night. And it never moved again. The car stayed stationary, never moved again until 4 minutes later. So we keep coming back, but this is where I live, is in this area right here, because it has so much powerful information. The vehicle did not start moving again until 2354. That was 4 minutes later. And the vehicle then traveled directly to 5903 Danny Kaye Drive, where the victims and their vehicles were discovered. That's a very, very, very telling statement. And then when we go over to Facebook, we learn, and we read this yesterday, we learned, according to the Facebook, the positioning of Matthew Guerra's body. And the positioning of Matthew Guerra's body in the back seat. So they said, so you got to look at yourself like you're in the front passenger seat of your car. So just wherever you're sitting, look straight, and you are the passenger in the front seat of the car. Okay. So your head was looking out the window. So this is her position in the passenger seat, out the window, looking out the window, right? Like out the window. So she's in the seat like this. Now, that's on the right side of the car. If you're looking out, your right's on the right, your right is the passenger, your left is the driver. Okay? So she's on the right side. Excuse me, I keep forgetting my camera's backwards. So she's on the right side of the car. And her face is looking out the window. And she's got a bullet wound. She's got a bullet wound in the left side behind the ear. And she's looking out this way. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about Matthew Guerra's position. Okay? And the charges of both mom and dad. And we're going to call mom. I'm going to say there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of documents produced. Not that I don't believe anybody or anything like that. It's just that even with the documents produced, does not show paternity. So I am going to base my statements as Mirta being the stepmother. I'm going to say stepmom because we definitely know we did see a legit marriage license from her to Ramon. And that happened in 2009. So this is no longer, the girlfriend designation is out. So our options really are, is she mom or is she stepmom? I don't know either or. And just because, just because he's got the house that was passed down to her by her father and stuff like that, there's just a lot of traditions in Hispanics' lives. They're very entrenched in family and their traditions, period. So this could very well be, even if he's not her legit child, it's just like my stepchildren. No matter what, I'm divorced from their father. If they ever came here and needed anything, I'm still stepmom. No, that never goes away. I love those children. I love my grandchildren. So this idea that just because you're a step parent means you'd never give your stepchildren anything. They're your family. They're your family. They'll always be your family. That doesn't go away. So I'm still kind of skeptical about the whole whether she's the mom. A lot of people are saying, well, we found enough evidence to say she's mom. I looked at all of it. There's no paternity there. And today, in this day and age, a step parent, I had every rights to my grandchildren as their grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wanted to go pull him out of school, I had the rights to pull him out of school. I had the rights to take him to the doctors. They didn't come out of my body, but I promise you, I took care of them. Right? So, I'm just a little, and had Vince and I still been married to this day, our stuff would go to our kids. She didn't come out of my body. She's still my kid. But this one, it states that Matthew Guerra, now we're on the driver's side behind the seat. The driver's side behind the seat. This is where I know that Matthew had to have been now officially outside of the car when he was killed. I truly believe he was outside of the car when he got killed. Now, where outside of the car he got killed, I don't know. Could it have been in the house? Could it have been in the garage? Could it have been just out in the broad daylight or broad nighttime of their yard? It could be. We don't know. We still haven't figured that out. But it does appear he was outside of the car. And the reason why I say that is because he wasn't pulled through behind his seat, behind his driver's seat. If he was pulled behind his driver's seat, his back would be on the same side against the door as Savanah was. While Savannah's leaning out like this, looking out the window, his back would have been, because they would have pulled him in from the driver's side over to the passenger side of the car. Excuse me, I'm backwards. Over to the passenger side of the car, right? So he would have came in from the driver's door and been pulled into the passenger side, where his legs would have been behind his driver's seat. It is just the opposite. It almost implies he was dragged in by the passenger door, because he finally was sitting up with his back against the back passenger door behind the front seat. And in order for him to be in that position, he would have had to have been pulled in from the passenger side to be in that position. So his feet were actually pointed to Savanah. So his legs were kind of crunched into the back seat on the passenger back seat door where Savanah was dead. That's where his feet were. So again, it just implies that he came in through that somebody, and it also implies two people. At minimum, two people. That's what it implies to me. Now, if he was just drug in there and, wasn't propped up on that door, that was somebody propping him up and shutting the door, and another person throwing his feet in. That's what this implies to me. This might be why they lynched into Ramon, because how dare you help your son move a dead body? We're all thinking that Ramon just went and picked him up from the car. What if he didn't? What if he literally helped him pick up the body from the ground and move it? And then clean up the mess? That's why I think the family is being charged. I really think this happened inside their home. 4 minutes. Like, not inside their home, like in the garage. You know what I'm saying? Like something, easy access from where they parked. Because we go back, this is the right here. Let me go ahead. I think that's about as blown up as I'm going to be. Maybe I can get it a little bit bigger. I think that might be as blown up as I'm going to be able to get it. But it says right here, no firearms were found. Where's his? Victim 2 was located. This is what it says. It says it right here. I can't, but it's right here, right above these redacted spots, right under the line. It's the very last sentence up here in page 1 of the narrative. It says victim 2 was located in the second row behind the driver's seat. Victim's 2's back was facing. So here's his back. Oh, let me put myself back up here. So here's his back, right? Here's his back. So it says his back was located, victim 2, which is Matthew Guerra, was located in the second row behind the driver's seat. Okay? Behind the driver's seat. This is the driver's seat in front of me. Driver's seat's over here. Passenger seat's over here. Right? So in the driver's seat, so he's behind this in the second row. So he's in the back seat. Victim 2 back is facing. So his back is facing the left passenger door. So his back is facing. So was he laying flat or was he propped up? That's what I want to know. But they're saying his back was facing the door, not the cushion on the seat. His back was facing the door. So it sounds like he was in a propped up position on the right passenger door. And then, of course, victim 2's pants were at his knees, which they indicated he was dragged. which also further indicates that he could possibly have been shot outside. But see, I was always vague on that because when they said drag, he would have had to move out of the front seat anyways. And so that would have explained it. So it sounds to me, based on these two, what is this called? This is called the incident report. So we have the incident report, and then of course we have the affidavit. And so if they arrived at the intersection of Charlie Chan and Cary Grant Drive at 2350, and the vehicle did not start moving at all until 2354, 4 minutes later, then that's intersection is where Savanah, we know, if I believe Savanah was shot in the car, then I believe that she was shot right there in front of their house inside that car. However, where was Matthew shot? I no longer believe Matthew was in the car. I do believe now that they were at his house. They were at Christopher Preciado's house. And I feel like it wasn't the vacant lot down the road. Unless this vacant lot is within 2 or 3 doors of their property, there's no way they could, because it didn't move. It went to that home and it sat there for 4 minutes until it finally moved. And when it started moving, it went directly to the apartments where it was ultimately dumped. All right, so I'm just going to take a little break here. I'll put my beautiful, shining, happy Friday face back on the screen so each and every one of you can see me. Hi, I miss you guys. So I'm just going to take a little break, and I'm just going to go through the chat and just see what you guys, because whenever I'm reading this stuff, I'm looking at this screen over here, and I'm not paying attention to chat. And even when I'm here looking at you guys, I'm usually looking at the screen when I'm speaking to you guys, so you guys don't think I'm looking all over, And so the chat's over here and I'm over here. So I try to watch it, and that's why I only catch stuff here and there. But if you ever really do need me to pay attention to you and like, I need you to hear this, Betty, we have a 99-cent super chat that you can just say, hey, look at my my thing. It doesn't allow you to put too many characters in there, but if you really need me to look at it and I'm just not seeing it, you can always do the 99-cent, not as a money grab, just as it puts it in red, and it pops it up there and you see it. You also have your milestones on your subscriptions, which I don't think anybody has. I don't even think we've been alive a month yet. We might be. I can't remember when we came over here. So, but this channel is doing amazing. It's building amazing. We still have our other channel absolutely 100% locked down right now. It's not going anywhere. And everything is going to be fine. I've spoken to literally everybody about that. So anybody that's concerned about the main channel, don't worry about it. It is in perfect health. And the only reason why we're not on there today is because we've been building this channel and everybody's kind of converted over to this channel. So I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that other channel. But we will end up starting, once we get through this process and the investigation and all this other stuff, we'll be back on that channel. But for the time being, this is where we're at, right? And it's been an enjoyable process, and we're building a completely second channel. And we're going to have we have 2 totally monetized accounts right now and working on the 3rd one. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. So we will, and then my 3rd channel is the one that's going to get me in trouble, because if we're converting that one over to a political channel, but it's a unity political channel. It's talking about the stuff that affects all of us. We're not getting into wedge issues. We're not getting into all this other stuff. We're talking about stuff that affects each and every one of us equally, right? It's stuff that it's to show everybody that we are all the same, and we are nothing but a number to our government, right? We're nothing but a number to our government, and we are the bosses. We are the bosses. So we're going to be talking about things that matter to everybody. And so if you guys would like to support that as we roll into the 2024 elections, please consider going up to the Bullhorn Betty, Bettie. Right now we're running TC, we're running true crime on that channel right now, just as we're building it up. But I didn't want to be deceptive with my audience. This channel here was supposed to be converted. But with all the situation going on, we ended up making this another true crime channel. And so the other channel is going to be our political channel, which is what I was planning on doing with this channel. So we need to start building up that channel so that can be that can get out. Either way, I'm going to be starting to run some political stuff on that channel. Probably, I want to say in March. We'll start running some political stuff on there, talking about policies, talking about taxes, gas, just a whole host of stuff that affects each and every one of us on a daily basis. So if you guys are interested in it, go over there and sub that channel up. Right now, it's rolling with true crime. So if you just want an extra channel that says the same thing as this channel, you can go over there and sign up for that as well. All right. So anyways, if you guys need any of your custom creations, please get over to Sonia and get your designs into reality. She can help you with everything. You need custom gift items. You want something special for your daughter. Graduations are coming up in a few months. You need something special, something designed specifically. We also have, just in another month, we got Valentine's Day. Do you want something sweet and special for your loved ones? Something that they can use and know that you love them all year round? Why don't you have her design you a cup, a personalized cup for your loved one? Something for coffee, maybe. Or, you could send Bullhorn Betty one, right? You guys love me. Send me a Bullhorn Betty coffee cup, right? Somebody? Kathy? Tammy? Patricia? No, I'm just joking. You guys know I'm just joking. But anyways, get over there and get her working and cracking those whips. I think it's happening. It happened in the suspect's driveway. Pulling into the driveway. Yeah. Most people don't like it. Sometimes parking. I remember, a person across the street. I didn't know who it was. They were out there for you couldn't see them. They had dark tinted windows. And I was out there and I happened to see this car. And it was out in the street. So it's like when you're out in the street, you kind of bring attention to yourself, especially when nobody else is out in the street. And if we look at this community, let's just go back to the camera. It doesn't look like people really park in the streets over here. It looks like it's pretty clean. It doesn't really have street parking. So it seems like if somebody was out in the car in the street, it would stick out like a sore thumb, especially at midnight, most likely with the brakes on. So yeah, that does make sense, Pat. Maybe they pulled into the driveway. Maybe he got out and walked into the garage. For whatever reason, the whole garage thing is starting to make sense to me. And then we still have the black Cadillac. Remember that? Now that we know that whole event with that black Cadillac happened on the day they disappeared, that brings that whole black Cadillac situation right back into play. What if it wasn't the black Cadillac? What if it was his black little beater car that they thought was a Cadillac because, maybe somebody wasn't wearing their glasses that day? He does have a black car. Somebody even said maybe they mistaken it for the black truck, but I don't see how they're going to mistaken a car for a truck, So I kind of feel, but what if that Cadillac was the one that was giving it to Matthew to give to Christopher? According to Myrta's, was it Myrta's? No, I think it was the press conference. It was the press conference with the gal, the one gal. There was like two press conferences. One was with a dude and one was with a female. And the female said that they knew that the deal had happened earlier that night. So it seems like there was a reason why Matthew was going back to that house that night, either to collect money, to drop off more, whatever. There seems like the whatever happened earlier that night, according to that one officer in her press conference. We'll have to go back to it and I'll have to catch that. But that black Cadillac now comes into play because remember, that was the day before. That was on the 21st. And we excluded that because the family said they had spoken to her on the 22nd. So we knew she was alive by the 22nd. And we were all under the assumption that they disappeared the night of the 22nd, not the 21st. We have a whole 24 hours. We weren't even looking at the timeline before Christopher and Ramon were arrested. When Christopher and Ramon were arrested, that's when we knew the true date and time that that car was dumped. Before that, we were all looking at the 22nd. Remember? So good point, Pat. I agree with you. But we have to find a way to muffle the shots being fired. And that's what leads me, because we have to go by it. This is the way I look at it. Even if they're used to having pops going off, like say that there's just gunfire, people get drunk and shoot their gun up in the air. It happens here outside of my house all the time. It is what it is. I always get worried about it because when things got to go up, they got to come down, so I always get a little concerned, but I can hear them. They're not right on my road. Obviously they're further, but you can hear them. We have a lot of people that like to get drunk and shoot off fireworks on the weekends, almost every single weekend of the freaking year. As annoying as it is, it's something that over time you truly do tune out. But we still listen to it and we still hear it. But now we almost gauge it. Oh, that's like a quarter mile away. Oh, that's a half a mile away. Oh, that was just right down the road. Where did that one come from? So I really do believe that if it was right out in the road, say like Matthew Guerra was in the yard and Christopher Boom, I feel like it would have been so loud at that time of night that somebody, especially across the street, that house across the street or that house next to them, would have been kind of jolted. But that bottom of their house is concrete block. I'm looking at the construction of it. So if they were inside the garage, even if the garage doors were opened, it would have muffled that sound enough that you wouldn't be able to tell the direction of that sound, in my opinion. And then, of course, with Savanah Soto, she was inside the car. So he could have just, opened the door, got in, or something else that would have still, even reaching in, and it would have still muffled that sound. And people may have heard that and heard it well, but didn't realize what they were hearing. For example, when I was out searching for Brian Laundrie, I remember hearing a squeal, like a squeal. And I'm like, okay, what was that? I couldn't tell what direction it was. I couldn't tell if what I was hearing was a squeal. It was just a weird noise that I heard, and I couldn't identify it. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Well, it happened again. And then I realized it was a bird in the distance. This bird making this awful squealing sound. It sounded like a person screaming out here in the woods. It's a bird. So you got to look at some of those environmental elements as well when you're out there. People may hear something but not realize what they're hearing, or portray it to be something else. This was so close to Christmas. I know that people here in my neighborhood were setting off fireworks for Christmas. That was a first for me this year. I had never really had, January 1st, yes, they always put them off, but really Christmas Day fireworks, never had those happen over here in the decade that I've lived here. But this year it happened, and it sounded like gunshots going off, but because of the doot, 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 it's the mortars going up. I don't know. She says the lot is up the street of Cary Grant. Let's see. Let me pull this back just a tad. I don't know. How do I get out of this? Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. So the vacant lot. Okay, let me put this up here. Okay, so this is Cary Grant. And you said up. Oh, you're talking about all the way at the end here. I think that's too far. How many lots is that? That's large. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's measure it. So that's about 3. Oh, I want to stop. Hold on, let me Z. Let me try this again. Let me measure it again. It says, based on this, that it's about 250 meters. 259.66 meters, which would be almost 1,000 feet away from the home. I think that might be a little too far. They wouldn't have been able to get that intersection. I'm trying to see if, because the way the satellites work. But see, the problem is also, I don't know how accurate their data information is in their box. You know, it is a 2013 Kia Optima, so it does have newer technology in it. It's still a 10-year-old car, but it's 10 years ago, they had a lot of capabilities. You know, you got your cameras, your Bluetooth. I mean, you got all your bells and whistles in 2013. So I have to think that their black box is accurate, probably not as accurate as a 2022 or 2023 model of car, but I have to think that the system that monitors it has to be about the same. So if they are finding them specifically or right there near, they say near the intersection of Cary Grant and Charlie Chan, near that intersection would be their driveway. I just want to let you know, but I don't think it would be 1,000 feet away. They would have been able to pinpoint that and say that it was down the road from the Charlie Chan address, or they would have probably reworded it to say that the car stopped at Charlie Chan address and then began to go to, because even 1,000 feet, that would be, that's like a 5 or 6 minute walk on foot. Something like that. That's like I mean, it's not a major walk. I mean, 5 or 6 minutes, but it is a walk. So I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, Drew. I don't know. But I do see the vacant lot here. Let me just put this up here and we'll blow it up. So people, I think this is, let me know if this is the vacant lot that you're referring to, but I think this is the vacant lot that they're referring to right there at the end of the road. Right there. Is that the one that you guys are referring to right here? Because if that one is it, I feel like it's too far away from the house to have that near the Cary Grant and Charlie Chan address, because it says it got to it was near the intersection of Charlie Chan and Cary Grant. And that it did not leave there for 4 minutes. So wherever it pulled up to, it pulled up and stopped for the full 4 minutes before the car ended up cranking up and going directly to the apartment complex. So again, I'm unsure, but this is really leaning to me, based on the information, is that this really did happen at that house. Driveway, garage, yard, it happened there. And I just feel like, because they're both charged with concealing and tampering and hiding evidence, and I wonder if that's part of the cleanup, if they're being charged with the cleanup of the crime, which I have to think that not just the moving of the bodies, but the cleanup of the crime, because at this point, I truly believe, not that everybody agrees with me, but for me personally, I truly believe Matthew Guerra was outside of the car. And I just don't see them standing in the driveway to do this bust. I feel like they would, or to do this deal or have this conversation. I feel like Matthew may have gotten out of the car. And I think I said this really early on, is that, when I'm looking at a drug deal, the girl always stays in the car. I said that, remember, she's most likely on her phone, blah, 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 not paying attention. And the dude gets out and handles business, either goes into the house or what have you. And so that does kind of bode in with that one, theory one, that he was outside of the car and most likely inside the home, either in the garage, in what if it, oh my gosh. What if this happened in his bedroom? Like, I, I, I mean, I want to say it's the garage because of the timing of everything. Because Matthew it would have taken a few minutes to load Matthew up. I would think at least a good 60 seconds to 75 seconds at minimum. Like, so a minute and 15 seconds at minimum to load somebody up, and that's at minimum. Dad grabs one side, you grab the other, you're carrying them over, you're trying to get them maneuvered in the car, you got to prop them in the car, somebody's got to walk around the car, they got to pull them through the car. You're talking about some stuff, plus your I'm sure all their hearts are just pounding. Can you imagine the adrenaline running through their body? They're probably not thinking clearly. They're just probably just trying to get this gone, get this mess gone, get it out of here. Just the pure emotional side of this. I mean, just because he pulls the trigger doesn't mean that anxiety and everything goes away. It probably amplified 1,000. He probably thought it was going to make him feel a different way than it did. I don't know. But I truly believe there was 2 people at minimum that had to have moved Matthew's body. And I now believe that Matthew was outside of the car. So where was Matthew? If Matthew was outside of the car, it leads me to believe that he walked in the house, because otherwise he would have stayed in the car and Christopher would have just came out to the car. So it sounds like Pat said, he probably got there, pulled up in the driveway like he always does, got out of the car and ran in the house like he always does. This time he just didn't come back out. So I don't know. Yeah, take 2 people. I think 2 people. I think that's probably why Ramon was one of the first people. That's probably why he's wiping that car down. His prints were probably all over that car. Ramon's were, from his help, from him assisting his son. Because even when he wiped down, I remember him wiping down the door and then sticking his hand right where he wiped. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember seeing that in the video? And I'm like, I'm just like shaking my head, but it is what it is. Yeah. Go ahead, Jen. Please do. Please do. If you guys haven't subbed up for Sweet Misery's channel, please consider subbing up to her channel. She's got great content on there. I was able to collaborate with her on some Turtle Boy stuff when we spoke to a beautiful, transparent Ashley. She was just wanted her story out there, about what she had went through with her kids, and how Turtle Boy turned her life completely upside down. And ultimately had her arrested. And being a trans parent and having to go into, I'm pretty sure they had to stick him in with the men. I'm sure she was very, 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 very uncomfortable. So, I mean, what Turtle Boy did to Ashley was just awful. And I hope she's able to overcome it. And I hope she's able to vindicate herself throughout all this. At least she had an opportunity and she had a platform, and Sweet Misery gave her the platform. So if you guys would like to see that and the other great content that Sweet Misery has, please go over and check out her channel. And also don't forget our beautiful Sonia. She's got a channel. I love her channel. It's coming from a place of goodness, really goodness. And get over to Sonia's channel and support her as well. Sonia has been a greatest supporter of the Bullhorn Betty channel from literally its creation. She's just an amazing, beautiful lady that just really wants to help people. And she does a lot. She takes the proceeds. That's why I'm always promoting her. You hardly ever hear me promote my Teespring account. You very rarely. Do I have designs in there? Absolutely. But we support the people that support this channel, and she does great work. She does great work. Like Jennifer Santinello raves about her all the time. It just shows you the beauty, the great hearts of the moderators here. But anyways, get over there, support her channel, buy some good, cute stuff, and be happy and like it. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, EMT. 4 minutes. That's it. It was too quick. That's what's making it. It almost seems like there must have been some type of issue. So, if let's play this out. Let's just kind of talk it out. And you guys are going to be coming up. I'm going to go down the list. So pop your stuff in here because we're going to go down the list and just talk about it. So let's play this. Let's play this tape through. The deal happened earlier that night, and Matthew and Savanah were going back over there. So this could mean a few things. This could mean there was a problem with the order, right? Which is what it seems like it's getting to, that there was a problem with the order. Somebody ordered something earlier, it didn't pan out, and he needed to go back over there and figure out what the problem is and fix it. Or if he, like, there, I know for a fact that when you get up to the kind of weight and stuff, you've got digital stuff, you've got everything to make sure everything is perfectly weighed. And I can't just imagine that somebody like Matthew would just be reaching in a bag and said, this looks about right. Here you go, right? And it'd be off, significantly off. I mean, it is possible. I've seen it happen. I've seen a lot of people that just literally dip, here you go. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. It just is what it is, right? But it sounds like the actual deal happened earlier that evening. So Matthew was coming back. Now, another thing could also be where it's not an issue with the order. It was fronted to him. Like Matthew, he called him and said, hey, I need this. I don't have the money for it, but I'll get it back to you this evening. I've already got people lined up ready to purchase. Right. And so he's coming back over there to get the money that's owed to him. And maybe Chris doesn't want to pay. Or it could also be a combination of those, right? So the deal happened earlier that day. It was short. Matthew acknowledged that it was short, went ahead and took the money, maybe was supposed to be back over there earlier that day and didn't come until late that evening, screwing up Christopher. Christopher gets hot and there's a fight. Now, I don't know if that's really, probable. I mean, it's possible, but is that really probable? I guess it could be, but it just doesn't seem like that's the kind of jitterbug stuff that Matthew is. Matthew, he's a heavy hitter. He wants to do bulk. He doesn't want to do nickel and dime stuff. He's way past the nickel and diming. He's selling bulk, right? He's selling the stuff to the people that nickel and dime, right? That's the way I foresee it. Now, do I know this for a fact? Absolutely not. This is just based upon my own personal experience down the road I've went on. This is how I perceive things. Does it make it right? Again, no, it doesn't. Raymond is one that drug Matthew from the armpits. Probably. He's a big guy. He'd have more strength, and he deals with air conditionings. When you deal with construction and you're dealing with moving really big and heavy items, you find ways to deal with that and handle that. For example, I remember being out with my dad, and we had this huge utility pole. He had to literally purchase a trailer for this utility. You don't realize when you see utility poles on the side of the road, you don't realize how how tall those utility poles are in real life when they're on the ground. They are freaking heavy. They got that green shit that's all over them that makes you itchy and covers you in a rash. I don't know what it's called, kerosene or whatever. I don't know what they put in that, what they treat those utility poles with, but it sucks and it's disgusting and stinks and it gets all over you and dyes you. And anyways, it's just me and my father out there. We have no heavy equipment. Huge utility pole. My dad, if you want to know why I'm cheap, fruit don't fall too far from the tree, right? My dad was cheap. I'm cheap. Just kind of comes with the territory. Okay. So he decides to use child labor instead of heavy equipment. I'm just joking. I was old enough to work. But I remember him and I having to try to we just had to just, over the trailer, and it went boom. And it made us, you felt a rumble under your feet when that utility pole hit the ground. And you kind of roll it over and you just walk it, you get it close to the hole. Listen to this. Dad taught me something. So you roll it over there, you get the big butt end of that, right? Toward the hole. And then you go down to the smaller end, you lift it up and you just start walking it down. He walked this big 60-foot pole all the way down. Da, 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 da. And next thing you know, it just goes boop right in the hole. Next thing you got a utility pole. No heavy equipment So when you are used to dealing with heavy equipment, you know how to carry heavy equipment. You learn things that are going to work for you. So if Ramon did this hit, he could have probably cleaned it up himself, but he didn't. His son did. So he needs dad's help, and I believe he did get his help, and I believe that absolutely. Just seems, well, with the muffling, we're all assuming that there was muffling of the gunshot. And if we assume that there was muffling of the gunshot, then we'd have to assume that it didn't just happen out in the yard or in the driveway. Savanah, we all can confirm Savanah was shot in the car. I think that's without saying. There's a casing in it. It doesn't look like she ever moved from the passenger side car. It definitely doesn't. No indication that she was dragged, moved, or anything. She was a heavily pregnant girl. Trust me, she would have been harder to deal with, in my opinion, than Matthew, because of just the gravity of her belly. She never moved. I don't believe she ever moved. And I literally said that out of the gate. When we found out about this car, I said, we got to look at this and how it's going. I said, I guarantee she most likely didn't leave that seat. And it doesn't sound like she did. Moneybags, nice to see you. I hope you're having a great day. Blue Victorian Beauty. Oh, it's pretty. Do we know how the car parked? No, we don't. We can speculate, like Pat Gaines believes that the car maybe got into the driveway, that they weren't. And I have to kind of think that, because I'm looking at this road. Well, I guess there is somebody out parked in the road on this one. Here, I'm going to put this back up. So there is somebody parked in the road right here, or maybe they're driving when this was captured. Maybe they're not parked because they're not close to the side. It looks like they're driving. And they're not, but it could be a parked car, but it doesn't look like they're accustomed to parking cars in the roads over in this neighborhood. Drew might be a little more up on that because she's in the area. But for me personally, it just doesn't look like, I'm looking at all these roads and it looks like they must have an ordinance to keep vehicles off the roadways. They have to be parked in the driveways in these communities, because I see literally no vehicles in the roads. So if that's the case, then I would have to think that they would have pulled just naturally, because we have to think that a lot of our behaviors, driving and stuff, we don't even think about where we're going. It's the behavior, our bodies. Have you ever gotten in your car and drove to work, and you arrive at work and you're like, did I even stop it? Right? You don't even remember driving. It's because your body was doing it so naturally. Even stopping at red lights, you're not even contemplating whether you need to stop or not. Your body's already stopping the car for you. So I have to look at natural behaviors, what would be natural. And if everybody here is accustomed to pulling in driveways, then I'd have to say that the natural behavior of Matthew Guerra on this day would have been to pull into the driveway. But I could be wrong, because I do see a car in the roadway, but I can't tell if the car's moving or if the car was actually parked in the roadway. But there's literally one car in a quarter mile that I can see that's parked in the roadway. Like, I'm looking on these back roads a quarter mile away from his home, and I don't see people in the drive. So this whole community, nobody parks in the roads. So you know what, Pat, I think you might be right, because the natural behavior of this person would most likely be to pull in a driveway. Propped up on the door. Yeah, it sounds like it, because it didn't say he was laying on his back in the back seat. It said that his back was facing the door. There's only one way your back can face the door, and that's if you're propped up on the door. Actually, you know what? Let me just see something. Hold on, because I got that crime scene photo that it doesn't have it covered yet. I wonder if we can see his position on here. Crime scene. I'm not going to put it up on here if I can, because I don't want people freaking out, but I do want to look and see if I can see it, because I do have that. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. she does have a baby seat in her lap. You can clearly see it. You can clearly see it. And holy shit, now that I know where she is, I can see the top of her head in this photo. I sure freaking can. Oh my God. All right. Well, I will tell you this for those that would like to look at their positions. When I blow it up, I can see them. I'm not going to put it up here on my, but I know there, and I'm not promoting that people, analyze this stuff or anything like that. Let me go ahead and get these captured. I want to get these captured. So in case they decide to remove them. Hold on a second. Screen capture. Actually, I only want the car. I really don't care about anybody else. I just want the freaking car. Okay. It's just sad. All right, so there's one. We got one. Let me go back to the other one. I never did a close look of these photos. I really didn't until just now. And now that I know. I can see the top of her head. It's so sad. And she just looks like she's chilling, but she's slumped down in the seat. Like the headrest is up here, and you can see like the top of her, you can see her hair and her forehead. In the photos. So I sent those over to you for those that would like to analyze those photos. I will ask, now that I saw that, maybe some people have already noticed that. I don't know if they have, if they've analyzed these photos. I just found them and just realized that we could see positions and stuff with the photos that I had, and I just produced those to you. If any creator does choose to use these photos, I mean, they are out in the public. Obviously, I don't really have anything to say one way or another. You do as you wish, just as a little bit of just consideration is that, this is a new case. The families are, still very emotional. And if you are going to use these photos or going to amplify them for your audience, please try to blur some of this stuff out. Just be really sensitive to the fact that this is a mom that was carrying a baby that lost her life. That's all. I'm just going to, you do what you want. Everybody's responsible for themselves, but just please, if take my advice, don't take my advice. It just doesn't matter. I just hope that everybody's respectful to the family. I think this family's gone through enough. And at the end of the day, please, 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 just think of baby Fabian and just make sure whatever you're doing is honoring him, because I think he's the one that suffered the worst. So please. And sorry, I didn't mean for that to be all out public either, because I just happened to look and I just, everything's kind of coming live. So you guys got real stuff. Otherwise, I would have tried to keep that to myself a little bit. I think it happened in a different area than the home, because it would have been caught on the cross the street neighbor cam. They did indicate that there is multiple videos of them coming and going from that house. So I don't know if that, I get your point, but I'm not sure. I think they do have videos. According to Myrta's affidavit, they talked about them seeing her leaving the home and coming back with Christopher and Ramon that night. So there are some cameras, but who knows? Who knows? I'm very interested. There's no right or wrong answers here, because we're all kind of guessing here, right? We're all kind of guessing. People don't always report gunshots, especially if they're used to hear them or used to hearing them. Or exactly, I don't report. And you never hear me calling law enforcement over here from noises I hear. Because I just my location. I'm away from the bad part, but I'm still close enough that I can hear what goes on in the bad parts of my community. Jules, there was a silencer on the weapon they recovered. Oh, we don't know. It didn't know there. We wouldn't know that. There is no indication one way or another. Anybody that says that there is, it might be speculating, because all they've said is that they've recovered the murder weapon. And then that's from inside the home. And then it wasn't until Myrta's arrest that we realized it was her gun. So they found the gun, and we knew they found the gun in the home when they arrested Christopher and Ramon, but we didn't realize it was Myrta's gun until she was arrested. But the sensor above the garage, it lights up like crazy. Interesting. But it still was midnight, though. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess the question would be, and maybe you might want to just test this theory out, Drew. What night did it happen? Was it a Friday night or a Saturday? It was a Friday night, right? The 21st was a Friday. Was December 21st, 2023. Thursday. So it happened on a Thursday night into Friday morning. So, well, we're a week away. So maybe, Drew, since you're in the community, this might be a little test. Maybe around 11 o'clock at night. Well, if you're up, I know I couldn't do this test because I'm never up at 11. I'm snoring. Actually, the only time I'm up at 11 o'clock is if I go to sleep too early. And that just happens to be my natural time of waking up. I usually get 5 or 6 hours. So if I go to sleep at like 6 or 7, I'm up. I'm up at midnight. But maybe next Thursday, that could be a little test. I mean, not that every single Thursday is like every other Thursday, but it just might be one of those things where you could just kind of cruise around and just see what the life is like in that community on a Thursday night. Thursday night is typically a day before payday in most cases, because most people get paid on Friday. So, you're looking at more people that are probably, waiting for their paycheck. So they're probably not up and out and rowdy and everything like that. I don't know. I'm not from San Antonio, so I don't know the lifestyle out there. I know, like, around here in this sleepy town, you got people moving all hours of the night, but it's not a lot at night, though, compared to the day. I don't think police care where it happened, who and why is more critical. Well, I think they got the who and why. So now it's kind of where did it happen? We know who and we know why. It was either a bad drug deal or a robbery. We know who. Christopher Preciado is the one that pulled the trigger, according to law enforcement, and his dad and stepmom or mom helped him cover it up. So we've already got the other half of that, the who and the why. Now that we know who and why, now we want to know where. And we even know how, right? We know it was a gun, and we know it was Myrta's gun. So maybe they had a designated meeting spot on Charlie Chan. That could be possible. They have a designated meeting spot, but it couldn't be too far from that intersection is the issue, because the car pinged at that intersection or near that intersection. And when you're talking about near an intersection, you're talking about 50 feet, 25 feet. That's what I would consider near. I mean, I wouldn't be taking near as, 1,000 feet down the road. Near to me would be within a few feet of something. So they're saying that it was near the Charlie Chan and Cary Grant intersection. And at the time that they pulled up at that, wherever that was, whether it's their meeting spot or what have you, that car did not move until it was heading to the apartments to be dumped. And that was with literally within 4 minutes. So if it was down the road, the way I'm looking at it is, so if it was down the road, he would have had to walk back home get mom or dad, go back there, load the body up, then get on the way. And I would think the whole walking back and forth would have ate a bulk of that 4 minutes up, depending on what it is. Even that lot down the road, I don't see Christopher driving their car until Matthew's body was in the back seat, because again, the car did not move for 4 solid minutes. Wherever it pulled up to, it stayed there until it was going to be dumped. So again, it comes back to that, it being near that intersection and it not moving from that intersection until it was going to be dumped. That's what's making me feel like whatever happened in front of their home or at their home near that intersection. Their driveway to that home is near the intersection of Charlie Chan and Cary Grant. So, but you know what? Just because it makes sense in my brain doesn't mean it holds water, right? It doesn't mean it holds water. But I think I'm a little more confident that it happened at the Charlie Chan driveway or Charlie Chan address somewhere on that property. I think whatever happened on that property. That was where the focus was. I don't think I heard anybody reporting that they were doing an investigation at a vacant lot or, collecting sampling, like, if let me just explain it like this. So if they were down the road and Matthew was out of the car and got shot outside of the car, there's going to be a blood pool at that scene. They're going to have to collect the evidence from that scene. So they would have had to go out there with their forensic teams to that vacant lot to do their testing and take their photos and do their investigation where the crime happened. We didn't see that from law enforcement. The only place we saw law enforcement go was to their home. So now we're kind of looking at the behavior of law enforcement. Law enforcement hasn't gone to any vacant lot that we know of. And I have to believe that because everybody in that community has been videotaping, if they went to a vacant lot down the road to investigate, to collect blood samples, shell casings, or something of that nature at that secondary scene, then we would have had some recordings of them doing that work at that secondary scene. We don't have it. We only have 2 scenes that we've seen law enforcement work at, and that's at that Danny K location and at the Charlie Chan home address. Those are the only 2 places that we know about. And again, we wouldn't have known about him had it not been for other people filming it and sending it to social media. So I'd have to think the people in that community, they see those officers move down a lot. They're going to have that on front page of every social media that they moved down to the lot. They must have been killed at that lot. But right now we have 2 locations where they were dumped at and where they were killed at. And there's been only 2 locations that have been searched. And I have a funny feeling one's the dump location, which we know is corroborated. And I think the other one's the kill location. I think it's the house. I think it's the house somewhere on that property. I don't think they were down the road. I really don't. But we'll keep reading and see. Maybe you guys can put me on the fence. A lot of people who own guns own silencer. I myself used to own 2. A silencer used in the garage, no more would know. I don't know. I've been a gun-toting owner my entire life. I've never owned a silencer. I've never owned a silencer. I've never possessed a silencer. I know how to make one. I've never even made one, but I know how to. I know how to make I know how to make one out of just household items, and I know how to make a silencer using steel and actually making the silencer itself out of steel and other components that can twist onto the end of your gun. I can do both of them. Never done it, but I know I can. I won't tell you why, but I know I can. Ever hear a raccoon getting it on with each other? They scream. Lori, only you. I think everybody in chat. I know I'm just getting it. Everybody probably already seen that and started cracking up, and I'm just getting to it. Oh, yes, I probably should be living in a place called near Houston. Let's see, maybe next door neighbor that took everything down. would call the police for sure. Yeah, I would think. I don't know. Moneybag says, I bet he went inside the garage or in the house because the parents helped so fast they knew that. Good perspective. Is it Moneybags or Moneybag? But good, very good perspective. Very good perspective. Yeah, that does make kind of make sense. I got to tell you, 4 minutes to drop 2 people and to get the car moving. That's quick. That's quick. How long is 4 minutes? How long is 4 minutes? Let's see here. Yep. We have a timer. Let's see if I got a timer. Yep. Timer. Here we go. Let's find out what 4 minutes feels like. All right. We'll see how quickly 4 minutes is. So me and you are having a conversation. We're having a conversation about the bunk stuff you got me. Matthew, it was short. I don't know what to tell you. You owe me money, Matt. I don't. I made sure it weighed right. Oh, no. I'm telling you, it is short. I sold it. Or it could be the other way. Where's my money? I don't have your money. Well, what are you planning on doing about it? Right? What are you planning on doing about it? Boom. Go to the car. Boom. Right? So now we have 3 minutes. Right now, we have 3 minutes to go wake up mommy and daddy, go take the dead body from the garage and put it into the car. Now you're talking about, something just happened. I need your help. Try to attack me. What's going on? I need you to help me. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, I got this down here. Can you come help me? What is going on? Parents are going to be like, what happened? You're freaking out. We've had kids freak out before, right? All right. Let's go see. Oh my God. What have you done? We just need get this out of here. We don't need this in our house. Right now, we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I just don't believe the argument went that quickly. I don't believe both of them were dropped that quickly. If they were, this is premeditated. They didn't even have a time to even have a conversation. Because right now, we're down to 2 minutes and they've got to drag Matthew Guerra's body into a car. And they've got to start moving that car and getting mom and dad into the truck and start heading out. None of this makes sense. We've got a minute left. I don't know how that works. I really don't. How did you guys get home after he parked the car? How did the guy... Dad, the black Silverado is what picked it up. The black Silverado. Let me get my notes. Yes, please do, because I'm trying to analyze this stuff. Allie, sorry, it was a mistake. I put my phone in my pocket. Oh, somebody must be calling somebody else. Lori Lowe says, I'm not even kidding. I went through the woods in my overbrush. What does it say? Hold on, let me put it up on the big screen. I'm not even kidding. I went through the woods into my overbrush when I first moved down here, and I called my neighbor. She was like, Lori, those are raccoons. Oh. I thought it happened where the video showed Roman getting out of the... No, that was the dump site. That was where they dumped him. So the way the affidavit reads, Jamie, is that the car pulled up to the intersection of Charlie Chan and Cary Grant, which just happens to be the corner lot sits Christopher Preciado's home. And they pulled up there at 11:50. The car does not move from whatever that location that car was parked at, did not move again until 4 minutes later. And 4 minutes later, it goes directly to the apartments to dump the car. So that, and law enforcement has stated multiple times that they believe that both Savanah and Matthew were deceased before that car was dumped at that apartment complex. So it literally, both of those people were deceased in less than 4 minutes. in less than 4 minutes. And I say that in less than 4 minutes because we know that Matthew Guerrera's body was dragged around and put in that car, in the back seat of that car. In order for that to happen, that takes time. You're talking about a sack of potatoes, about a 150-pound bag, a sack of potatoes. It's dead weight. You're going to need at least 2 people to move him. So that's going to take a few moments to get him situated, to get him to the car, to get him pushed through the back seat of the car, to get him propped up so they can even get in the car to leave, to go dump him. To me, my phone just turned off. Hold on a second. I was in the middle of my. Oh, I thought it was going to go beep 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 beep. It didn't beep. It didn't beep. So I don't know that other minute, but it's just not long enough to have an argument. Is my point. You're not going to have a heated argument where it gets to the point where you're pulling out a gun and putting it to somebody's head and pulling the trigger. You're not going to get to that point unless it's premeditated in 4 minutes. Like, it takes a lot of arguing to get you so heated that you're pulling out a gun. It to me sounds like he either owed Matthew money and Matthew was coming over there to collect the money and he didn't have the money to give Matthew, or he knew that Matthew was coming over there with a wad of cash and wanted the cash. Because law enforcement told us the deal happened earlier that night. It didn't happen. Matthew was not coming over there, from my understanding, to drop off the drugs. The drugs had already been dropped off. So why was Matthew going back a second time that day is my question. Let's see what else we've got here. It's okay. Jamie, I know I couldn't, I know, right? I couldn't do it. I'd be so paranoid. I don't know who, I don't understand. I think that, a friend of mine was sitting here talking about, the true crime and everything that goes on that we deal with and whatnot. And, we're talking about the popularity of the genre and why it's so popular. And I think that it's in part of people's curiosity, just normal curiosity, not even the morbid curiosity, just normal curiosity. I think it to us, to normal people, and I'm even talking about even the nuts that are out there. We're still all normal to some of these animals, right? And I just believe that I don't even know. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll get back to it if I want to say it. There's no good way of saying anything anymore. If you have it on camera of them getting in and out of the truck at their home, then moving a body would be seen, right? I think so, unless it happened in the garage. And they could, but they said the car did not move again until it was moving at 23:54. So if it did not move again, then they wouldn't even have been able to back it up to the garage. But again, it comes to the timing of night. Nobody was up. It was pitch black. They probably turned the lights off and just moved them. Nobody would even see what they were doing. It seems like let me look at their house. Let's look at this. Let me put this back up here. Let's look. Let's take a peek. And I want to put my person down there. Okay. So can I get my person? Okay. All right. So let's say, so here's the black. I can't tell if that's the red one. There was a red one over here. So let's say that the red car's here, the black car's here, and the truck is here. And let's say that Matthew pulls right up in front of the truck here. There's a fence here, so nobody on this side would be seeing what they were doing. This has the house, but it looks like the bedrooms would be up here. So this would be the only one facing down this way. And it's a nice house, but I don't really see anybody there. The yard's being kept up. We don't know when this was taken in 2022. So this is at least a year old. And so the only thing you'd have to worry about would be out here. There's a street parker right there. So there may be some people that are comfortable parking in the street. He could have parked in the street. So really, they would only be worried about this house here. This house here, because they got an elevated view with the windows up here. This would be kind of blocked by that tree. And this house here. So we have 1 house, 2, and 3 houses that they would have to be concerned about what could be seen here. But I have to think that these trees do obscure this line sight of this house here. The front door being here. So this is the living room. This is most likely the kitchen. So this would be the only bedroom on this side of the house. And that could be a den as well, based on my knowledge of construction. So really, they've only got 2 houses that they would have to be concerned with. And it's this house right here and this house right there, the yellow house right there. Those are the 2 that they'd have to be concerned with. This one right here, they'd have to be concerned with, but only this window right here. And I don't think it would have the advantage point as the 2nd-story houses would, to be honest with you. So technically, I mean, if I'm looking at this, they could have moved that body in the open without even bringing one bit of attention to themselves. Because if their truck was in this driveway right here and the black car was right here, really the only advantage point would be this one right here, that house right there. I'm curious if anybody's living in there. I mean, the yard's being taken care of, but I don't see any cars in the driveway or anything. So I'm curious about that house there. But that would be the only thing. So I still think that it could have definitely happened somewhere here. You can see people walk along. They don't have sidewalks, but you can see the clear trail of people walking on the grass at the out of the yard. You can see almost a footpath all the way down right there. But I don't see any tire tracks of saying somebody pulling up on the side of on the side here and parking halfway in or halfway out. But with this, I mean, we obviously know that there is some street parking because we can see it right here and right here. So they could have parked in the street, they could have parked in the driveway, but this is the intersection, Charlie Chan and Cary Grant. They pinged near here and their car did not move until it was going to be dumped. This is the intersection that their car last pinged in, and it just so happens to be the intersection where Christopher Preciado lives. So I think law enforcement has kind of at least honed in to us a little bit about, what they feel happened. It seems to me that law enforcement's leaning to based on their affidavits, that they believe. And then I'm putting words in their mouth because they didn't come out and say it, but just for me, it sounds like they believe whatever happened at this house. And again, what helps corroborate that for me in my mind is the fact that there's only been 2 areas of investigation that we have learned from the people that live in this area. And the first location was Danny Kaye, and this is where their car was found. Their car was found first with them in it deceased. And then a few days later, like a couple days later, is when we learned about Christopher Preciado and Ramon Preciado. So we knew of them days later. But the first crime scene was the dump site. And we learned early on that they felt that they were not killed there, that they were killed at a different location and dumped there. And the only other location that has been checked by law enforcement is this Charlie Chan address. We have not seen any units down at the vacant lot down the road. Now, if there's people in this community, and just because we didn't hear about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. If you heard or you saw or you knew that they were at a vacant lot near this home, please let us know. If you've seen forensic units at a vacant site or vacant lot in and around near this home, please let us know. We would like to know, because right now there's only been 2 areas of investigation. And so I think, again, it's leaning and corroborating that they feel this might be the murder site. I'm just going to open up the phones. I don't know if anybody is going to want to call in or talk about this, but I promised you guys that we would open the phones up just to voice anybody's opinion or provide perspective related to this matter. If you have any, I'm happy to listen to it. We're happy to discuss it. Just let me know. Hold on a second. Get this turned on. All right, guys, we are officially on. Our phones are up, 724-249-6140. Again, 724-249-6140. I'm just going to leave them open for just a few moments. If somebody calls in, we'll carry the conversation longer. But again, if somebody doesn't call in, I'm kind of done with everything I'm going to be presenting to you guys today. Did I have another story that I wanted to show you guys? Oh, this is another hot topic for me. It's an anti-crime bill that is being passed by Kentucky. I'm going to try to get to go see. I'm working to try to go see Turkey Man while I'm in Tennessee, just to scoot on over there, but I haven't figured out how far away he is from my location yet. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm also going to be going to Kentucky if I can get over there, because I wanted to do some Crystal Rogers work. So I might actually be going to Kentucky on this trip when I head to South Carolina. I plan on going to South Carolina, covering the Murdaugh new motion for new trial. And then I'm going to go over to Tennessee. And then from Tennessee, I may go over to Kentucky. So I'm not quite sure how that is, but I also realized that Brooke Houck has a hearing coming up on the 8th. So I may come home for a couple days and then go back up there for the hearing. So I'm not sure how that will work out. If I can just be in place, if we have somebody in Kentucky that just wants to house me for a few days, I'll stay up there until the hearing, so I don't have to keep driving back and forth. But otherwise, it's just going to get too costly, and it's just going to make better sense for me to come back here and then go back up there around the 6th to be there for the 8th. So we'll see how that all works out, but that's kind of the plan. Crystal Rogers case and Brooke's house. It's a crazy case. It almost reminds me a little bit about like Alec Murdaugh. The Alec Murdaugh case, about how they had this, this wealth, this prestige, this power in this small community, and they wielded it. Well, I kind of feel like that is this case. That is Brooke Houck's family. And like I tease all the time because his mom looks just mean. I call her Mafia Mom. And his brother has been kind of accused of executing Crystal's father when he was looking into answers to what happened to his daughter. So it's like all these things. I mean, this is really, it sounds crazy when I say it like this, but it's kind of one of those sexy cases because it's got all these twists and turns to it. It keeps our attention, and it's like we're always waiting for that next shoe to drop in this case. It's like, who's going to be arrested next? And that's really what's kind of got my attention to this case, because it's like when you just don't think a case can get any crazier, right? It just like, it's the case that just keeps on giving. It was almost like a Murdaugh case, and Murdaugh, hell, I said that about Murdaugh, and it's still the case that keeps on giving. So I feel like that this Crystal Rogers case, it's got a lot of like almost was like corruption scandal because, Nick used to work for the police department, the Bardstown Police Department. And of course, Jason Ellis was executed right after working with Nick Houck, and Nick Houck's accused of executing, Crystal's father. It's just, it's like the case is just a case that keeps on giving these weird twists and turns through the entire thing. So it has my attention, and it leaves me almost like, when's the next arrest? When are you guys going to put Nick behind bars? When are you guys going to start seeking justice for Tommy Ballard? It's like, I'm almost like every week I'm waiting for the arrest. I'm waiting for this, and it just seems to never come. And then right when we think we're not going to get any more arrests, something like Steve Lawson pops up where he's getting arrested, and he's been working on a transactional immunity agreement. So he must have lied about something. That's what we assume. Does anyone know if they had the funeral service for Savanah and Fabian? I remember hearing that they, due to the weather on the 13th, I keep thinking it's going to be the 21st for some reason. I don't know why that number is coming. Let me just check. Savannah's Soto's funeral. The 22nd. The funeral will be Monday, the 22nd, 9 a.m. at St. John, the Evangelist Catholic Church. It's at 4603 St. John's Way in San Antonio. Again, 4603 St. John's Way in San Antonio. It was rescheduled for January 22nd, 9 a.m., where both Savanah and Fabian, baby Fabian, will be officially put to rest. It was really sad because I heard that Matthew's parents said the baby looked like Savanah. And I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. They still aren't buried. How long can you? As long as it's properly preserved, you can keep it in frigidate, in a freezer keep it maintained for some time. It's very interesting how they do it now, but it has to be cold, obviously it has to be cold. So they can keep you for probably more than you would even really want to know. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Our guidance can just tell you. Yeah. It's kind of gross, but they preserve you. Okay. When you're in that casket, you can pretty much say that you're most likely being preserved. You're preserved. Okay. You know how we talk about how we don't like preservatives in our meat? It's because we don't want to be preserved. I need to stop. Everybody's going to be like, I ain't buying meat no more. All right, guys, I'm done with my show. I hope you have an amazing Friday. God bless each and every one of you, my beautiful coffee beans, my BFFs. I hope you enjoyed this conversation a little bit. I think it really did glean us a little bit of light into what happened. We're going to still keep going down this road. I'm not going to be on Savanah Soto every single day, but I want to keep you guys up to date because, again, this is a case that really pulled at our heartstrings. So it's not like that we're just going to, turn our back and go away. We do want to see justice happen, and we want to know what happened. We're nosy. We're just kind of nosy like that, We want to know why this happened, where this happened, how this happened. We want to know to the second this happened. We want to know, like, literally everything. We want to know what Mirta's involvement is, what Ramon's involvement is. We want to know literally everything. Well, hello, it's me too.
Hi. So you know, calling in, so I call in. Believe it or not, I've been so busy, I haven't even gotten to read the reports that came out, believe it or not. I've been actually multitasking while you've been doing your live today, but I figured I'd just call in anyway. but I like to go over it, and I'll be having a discussion with you as we have been.
Yeah.
But one thing I know is like I don't I don't know they had to have been killed very close, as we know, right? But I don't know about the inside the house because I haven't seen it, but did you see anybody collecting? I mean, you would think if he was dragged from the garage, which I heard was made into like a room, everywhere Chris stood. But they would
Is
have
the
had to
garage,
have.
did you say the garage is Christopher's room?
That's what I've heard many times. Yeah,
And
that
that's where it
was made
happened.
into an area for him,
And
for him to
then
sit.
that's where it happened. I guarantee that's where it happened. If he's right there, yeah.
Right. But then you figure he would have to come out and go up to wherever the car would have been parked. If it would have been, if he went in their house, you would think he would have parked in the garage. I mean, in the driveway. You would think that would have been caught on camera. He would have to come back out and get her, right?
Yes, but
In the
I heard
car.
this is what I heard. Now it's not in the report, so we have to take it as rumor. But I heard
Right.
that they did delete camera footage from their, whether it was Ring or Blink or whatever the number of different camera apps there are.
Yeah, they did. And I guess whoever FBI, whatever, managed to get some.
I bet you they
Get
have
him back.
everything. This is going to be creepy. I bet you they
I
have.
think so. I just find that to me they didn't look like it was a big crime scene though. The way they searched that place,
If
you
it
know,
was in
and
a
really,
condensed, well, think about it. If it was in a condensed area, their search area wouldn't be very big. If you really think about, I mean, there was only 4 minutes. It's not like they were that Matthew lived in this house and he was upstairs and had to be drugged down stairs and steps. It sounds like wherever his car was, he was just feet from his car. Whether it was inside the
right.
garage or outside the garage. But it does sound like now that he was outside of that car.
That's what I think. I think what happened is well, I don't really know, but I'm trying to just put things in my head. I have a feeling maybe because we're only the one case, and maybe Matthew got out of the car. I think I ran this by you. Got out of the car, maybe kept his stuff in the trunk, you know, and went to go get it, and the gun went right to the back of his head. He was,
Ooh,
that fast,
interesting. Yeah, that
and then put him right. Now I don't think the body was dragged far because I think we would have seen evidence of them searching and taking pictures of all that driveway, and there would have been,
Yeah,
blood
but I
and
almost think that if he would have been killed out in the driveway versus inside the garage, we would have seen some blood drops or something when everybody was watching them going into the house. They wouldn't have trampled right on where he was shot on the backside of his car. They would have been collecting evidence there, and they went in the
yeah.
house, not outside the house.
I wonder if it was like alongside the fence, right around where
There's a
side of the
living
house. That was a
area.
long fence. There's a big fence. There's a big backyard.
Yeah,
So I wonder if they pulled up there. But I was thinking, he could have got, a lot of people they like to drive around with that stuff. They put it in the trunk, thinking it's safe in the trunk, and I'd like to know, and I haven't seen anybody. You don't see anybody that seems to know if they knew each other very well. You
mhm.
know how, you know what I'm saying? But if they did, he could have just went to the trunk. When he went to pull it out, and he got the gun right to the side of his head. It was like premeditated.
Yeah.
Got him there, got him in the car. And a lot of people keep saying, that he could have got him in the car alone. Well, I don't know if you ever watch a lot, the Jodi Arias trial.
Mhm.
And I mean, she was a tiny, tiny thing. She managed to drag him down the hall and get him into the shower all by herself.
Yeah, but I'm
So
pretty sure she had to use a sheet or a blanket, something to drag him.
no,
She didn't?
no, there
She
was no,
dragged him by his
nope.
mitts?
Yep. And she brutalized that guy. He was, killed 3 different ways. Put it
Mhm.
that way. If you
Well, I
remember the
keep
case.
wondering, was she drug him up this, but it would have taken more than 4 minutes for her to do all that.
Oh yeah, she had the place to herself that was inside his house. But you gotta
Okay.
remember the adrenaline
Yeah.
that you have. I mean, I've seen people. I haven't seen it personally. I've seen it on the news.
Yeah.
People that have gone and they've
Lifted
lifted a
cars.
car to get somebody underneath it
Yeah.
because the adrenaline just. And I think that's probably why he was positioned the way he was because he got thrown in, quickly. I think if 2 people would have done, I think it would have been placed a little bit differently, don't you?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm. Because
no.
if he was pulled in and laid on his back, then I could probably see the 2 people. But it almost seems like one person was pushing and one person was pulling. It seems like there's no way
Pulling.
to get Matthew in that car except pulling him from one side of the car to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't pick him up and cradle him to the car. He's too big. I mean, Matthew was what,
Yeah. Right.
over 6 feet. That's the
Yeah. You're
problem.
small.
I don't see how. I'm trying to visual. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, but in 4 minutes, no.
Well, wouldn't the father, whoever helped him, be an accessory after the fact? If that was the case, they would have been right
He's
there.
being charged with moving, tampering, destroying everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's charged with the crimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would just think
he's
he would
charged
have
with the
charged it
crimes whether
more.
he touched the body or not. And we just assumed that all he
Yeah.
did was wipe down the car. But with this new incident report, it changes things a little bit.
Yeah, I have to go over. I'm trying to go over it and go and discuss it with you,
Yeah.
like we've been doing. You know, me and Betty, for anyone listening, we love to discuss cases.
And and her and I haven't agreed on. We've agreed on very little. This case.
I still love you.
I love you too.
You always tell me to be honest.
I know. And you were right. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you analyzed, your analysis at the beginning of this case was more spot on than mine, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You know, but I still have my opinions.
Yeah. And I respect them. Now I'm gonna go over this though, and I'll have to touch base with you.
Yeah, go on the discussion group. They've got the incident report right there under the media file, and read it. It's small, but I think it clarified a few things that I had in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Right.
think it's good. I think it's
Now,
a good
what discussion group are you talking about?
the Savanah Soto Facebook discussion
Oh,
group.
all right, the Facebook ones. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They that's
I've
where I
been so
got the.
busy.
I'm sorry.
No, I've just been so busy the last 2 days. Been crazy. Emptying out my the storage unit, and it's been like trying to go through all these boxes. It's been nuts. So I've been so busy. You know me. I missed the live. Was it yesterday? I had a doctor appointment.
Yeah, that's the one we went over the incident. So go back and
Yeah,
watch
so I
that
missed. I'm
one.
like, of all days, I would have loved to call and
Yeah,
gone over
well,
it
go
with
back
you.
and watch that one because that's the one I read.
I will.
Read the entire thing. So
Yeah. In case I forget, I believe it's paralegal Liz.
Mhm.
She was in your chat. I did tell her that you're going. She's asking about. She said she'll be there. Alex Murdoch.
Oh,
Evidentiary
great!
thing. So I told her I'd let you know, and I know Drew sent you an email too. So I told him I'd, let you know about that.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't watch it's too much to try to run the show
No, I
and
know you
watch the
can't. I know.
chat. So
I
I
know how that
appreciate
goes.
all the help I can get.
But she's been in there a few times over the past week, and I told her, I said, yeah, she'll be there. And I told her we were going, and that I'd let you know. And then she was in there again today, so I figured I'd just run it by you.
Yeah.
Well, I look
Hold
forward
on
to
here.
seeing you.
Here we go. Okay, so the light, the big light, she's showing me that there's a big, huge light that goes on. But you know what? I wonder if the light comes on, is there a way that they can turn it off?
Oh, the scented light.
Mm-hmm. Like mine's on a switch,
Um,
so the way I do mine, the way the when I know this from putting in them, but you can turn your switch off and on real quick, and it'll just keep the light on, and then you do it again, and it resets it to auto detect. But you can, when you switch it on, you can turn it off. But I don't know.
right.
That's the way I've got mine set up. Mine's set up where if I flip the switch twice, it's a like the sensor, but I can flip it quick and make it just the light and have the light stay on stationary.
Yeah, they probably didn't think about it in the panic.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have, but even at night with the light here, I mean, it's still. Let me just. I'm going to come right back to you, so nobody can hear you when I do this. But just give me just a second, and I'll let you know when you can talk again. She's still on the phone, guys. I just wanted to show you guys this. So thank you, by the way, who Drew that sent this to me. So there's the front of the house, and even kind of closer to that end of the driveway. Yeah, it's lit up, but it's not. It's still pretty dark over at that end of the driveway. But I see what your point is. You know, that light, that sensor light, coming on. So there it is. It's pretty bright. It brightens up the front of that driveway. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate that. So this is the house at night. So you do so there you guys have it. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it's pretty bright. Would they have been so bold to do all this? Would they have been so bold to do all of this in with the lights on and just moving because they had to have moved the body. We know it was dragged. And we know it was dragged. like now I'm just my mind is like literally blown right now that they would have done this not just like oh my goodness. Karen, did you see that on your screen? Oh, okay, gotcha. Let me put you back on so
I'm
everybody
gonna
can
put
hear
this.
you.
I'm gonna put it on though. I'm gonna put it on.
Yeah.
Um.
You can't. Drew just sent us some photos of the front of Preciado's house at night,
Okay.
and the big
Yeah.
huge light that comes on at night. It lights up the whole front of their yard. But when was that taken? Was that taken, Drew? Was that taken right after the event, or did that make? Is it possible that they put that light up like after the car got vandalized? I just out of curiosity. Anyways, all right, Karen. Sorry about that. I just wanted to go off on a
That's
little
okay.
tangent.
It just the only thing that's confusing me. I got my head premeditated, but then again, this was premeditated. It wasn't very well thought out. I don't know, what do you think on that? I mean, it kind of seems like everything was done in a panic. I don't know. But then again, I go back and forth with the premeditated. Like this was premeditated. Like I don't know.
I
But then
wonder if
again, you
it's
think they would have been more
possible.
prepared.
Yeah, I wonder
You
if
know.
we took portions of what Christopher Preciado said, and we applied them if it could paint a different picture. For example, what if Matthew Guerrera, what if Chris owed him money and he was sick and tired of dealing with Chris's excuse and came in there and just said, "Look, dude, you need to pay me my MF and money, or we're gonna have some big problems
Right.
here, blah blah blah." And he knew he was up and just decided to, as soon as he had his back turned, just took care of business. We don't know what the situation is, so we don't know and I don't even know if it's accurate or if the lady misspoke because sometimes law enforcement accidentally misspeaks, but they didn't retract it, and she specifically said that they knew that this transaction happened earlier in the night.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's coming from the mother, though, right?
No, that was
statement.
coming from the cop that was doing the press conference. She was answering one of the questions, and one of the responses was, "Well, we know that the marijuana deal happened earlier that night." That was what she specifically.
I got the impression that the mother told him that. Maybe I'm wrong on that then.
No, I didn't
That's
hear
what I
her say
thought.
that. She spoke with authority on that question.
Okay. Yeah. So then again, it would be even more premeditated. But then he had to have known. I mean, who was going to drive the car back? I mean, I don't understand. That's where I get conflicted. You know what I mean? He drove the car, so it was like, why wouldn't he have just gone somewhere else? Did what he did, and then take off running. He was close enough to home.
Well, one
So
thing
I'm
we
going back
don't
and forth with
have,
premeditated.
one thing
Yeah,
we
go ahead.
don't have here, Karen, and I just thought about that as you were talking, is we don't have any calls or the communications that happened before Matthew arrived. There may have been a heated argument before he arrived, and by him arriving, caused the issue to
Right.
erupt. I never thought about
Yeah.
that, and it just popped in my head just now.
Because it all happened so quick, and that's, I'm thinking in my head, premeditated, and I'm like, it was very messy if it was premeditated, He had to have known. I mean, if he was going to do it the way he did it, he had to take the car somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
why not just do it off in the woods? I don't know. But I'm sure, Matthew would have met him somewhere odd, would have been kind of
Yeah,
suspicious,
but they didn't. I mean, the reports, we can speculate that it happened down the road, but I'm telling you,
Right.
these reports are saying it happened there.
Yeah. And the law enforcement they obviously, they can't give us everything, which, can't
Yeah.
blame them.
No,
But
we're
yeah,
not
so
going to
I
know.
just find it weird that nobody's come forward, nobody's come forward, that knew Chris, really. I mean, I seen one thing where a girlfriend that had dated him had come forward and saying that the parents, he was like spoiled rotten, the parents did everything for him.
Hmm.
And there was another show that was supposed to have a friend of, who was it? It was this girl was friendly with Savanah, and it was her boyfriend. Let me see, I'm gonna get this right. Her boyfriend dealt with Matthew, but I didn't get to watch. I gotta go back and see if I can.
When you go back to see, send me that link if you wouldn't mind.
I will. Yeah, I'll let you know the guy that's doing it.
Okay.
Because he was supposed to do it one night, and then it got canceled to the next night, and I never got to watch it. So I'm gonna go back and check on it.
All right.
And I'll let you know, because I figured you want to see it. But,
Yeah.
all right. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Anyway, but I'll be in touch before then. So.
All right, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, love. Bye.
All righty, guys. There we go. That is the end of our show. Went over a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay. It was a great conversation. It was a great topic. I think we're kind of whittling down. Tomorrow, we're going to be bringing up this topic a little bit, but I'd like some opposition to the topic. Like, I'm thinking it's at the House, and I would like somebody to come up here and tell me something that they think different, so we can look at that avenue, because my mind only works one way, so I need somebody else's mind to work the other way in order for me to look at the other side of it. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. What else do I have here? Oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, I can do it tomorrow. It's the court ruling for, like, the new Supreme Court ruling for Kentucky, and the 3-strike rule. You guys know I like our country running on the merits of the case. So basically, if you're charged with a crime, I think your charge for your crime should be based upon your crime, not some standard, not some 3-strike. I think that is not a fair system, because you're implying that everybody's crime is exactly the same. And I totally disagree that everybody's crime, even if it's murders or crime, I just don't like it. For example, if somebody needs to be in jail for an extended period of time, the judge needs to put them in jail for an extended period of time. I could care less whether they have done 3 strikes or not. If they're a violent offender, I want them being charged as a violent offender, and I want them to be going to jail as such. When judges need provisions like 3 strikes in order to levy down harsh punishments to the people that need those harsh punishments, we've got a problem in our country. I do not like stacking of crimes. I do not like 3-strike provisions. I think it's all bullshit. Every single case, and I mean every single case that comes through our court systems here in the United States of America, should be based upon their crimes and their crimes alone, and based on the sentencing guidelines of that state. If you really have to have 3 strikes to put violent offenders away for a significant amount of time, maybe you got something wrong with your sentencing guidelines. Just saying. Just saying. I personally believe any type of 3-strike provision is unconstitutional in my world. I don't care whether it goes through Supreme Courts or not. That is not evaluating a case based on its own merits. What if they committed a 3rd strike, but there's a reasonable reason for them to commit that 3rd strike, and that's part of their defense to that charge, even though that they have been charged with that crime, there's a reasonable explanation for it. Not that they should not be held accountable for that crime, just an understanding of why that crime happened. That person should be adjudicated on those facts and those facts alone. They should not have elevated sentencing because this is now their 3rd strike. I'm very, very particular. I'm a law and order person, but more importantly, I'm a constitutionalist. And quite frankly, I truly believe these provisions are horrible policy. And I will always say they're horrible policy. So that's my 2 cents. Don't spend it all in one place. Guys, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another, especially in the chat box below. You guys have each and every day an opportunity to wake up and do some amazing things with your life and inspire a lot of people. I hope you guys choose love over hate every day of the week. God bless you. Until next time, we're going to keep rocking it out with our coffee beans out. God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.